Hey everybody, this is Joe from the Northeastern Native Plant Digest, and today I want to talk about another one of my favorite large prairie plants, the Silphium perfoliatum cup plant. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. So cup plant is a native plant that I introduced into my garden about 4 years ago. Originally I had this particular plant located in my front yard. I decided to move it into the back where I thought would have more room to grow, and it's done really well since I moved it here. So this is another one of those tall prairie plants, along with compass plant and prairie dock. This plant can get to be 8 to 10 feet tall. It also has, like those, a really deep, extensive root system that can go down all the way to, several feet, 5 to 10 feet. It actually likes a little bit more moist conditions. It can thrive in a little bit more moist conditions, but it is drought tolerant once it gets established. So this plant does well from zones 3 through 9. It actually prefers full sun, but as you can see with this one, it gets a little bit partial shade in the morning, and it does incredibly well here. So this plant gets its name from the fact that the leaves form around the stalk, and forms a little cup here. And if you can see here, we got a little bit of rain last night, and it'll actually hold on to some of that water, and this is utilized by insects for a water source. So Silphium perfoliatum, Silphium, the genus name, uh, is derived from a Greek word that refers to the fact that plants in this genus, if you cut them open, a lot of times they're known to exude a sticky resin that was at times utilized by indigenous people and pioneers as a sort of natural chewing gum. Now, earlier today, I tried to do an experiment where I cut one of the stalks from one of my smaller stalks. I cut them with some pruning shears, but I wasn't able to get any resin out of it, and I think it's because we've had so much moisture. And then perfoliatum stems from the fact that, no pun intended, that the stems the leaves do form around the stem, perfoliatum. So it looks like it's coming up through. It looks like the stalk's coming up through the leaves. And this has one of the characteristics of this plant that makes it very easy to identify is that the stems are square. Has very rough, sandpapery type leaves, so it's very rough. But this plant is ecological powerhouse. There's a lot of specific moth and bee species that actually rely on this plant and other plants in this genus to complete their life cycles. I looked up a couple of these online, and I was able to find a couple uh, a couple public domain pictures. One of them is the two-spot longhorn bee, which is Melissodes bimaculatus, and then there's also Dieunomia heteropoda, which is the largest sweat bee in eastern North America. Now this particular plant gets a lot of pollinator activity on it by long and short-tongued bees, as well as butterflies. In fact, the eastern tiger swallowtail really seems to love this plant, and I've been noticing them ever since this plant started blooming back here. The eastern tiger swallowtails will flock to this plant for hours at a time, just going from flower to flower. Another thing about this plant is that I leave these flowers to go to seed in the fall because like the compass plant that I talked about in one of my prior videos, songbirds like the American goldfinch will sit on these and they'll pick the seeds from here and it's a good food source for them. So this is a very tall plant, up to 10 feet tall. You can see this one right here goes all the way down to the ground here, and it forms a nice clump. This is considered to be can be a pretty prolific spreader. It spreads by underground rhizome and also self seeds. So you just want to keep that in mind. I've only noticed one other plant coming up from mine so far. This is a very dramatic plant. I mean, it has a lot of height, a lot of color. It would look great in the back of a border. I got it paired here with some Joe Pye weed. Or if you have if you have some land and you want to work on a spot to renaturalize it, this would be a good candidate for that. Even today, this has a lot of pollinator activity on this. There are a lot of other bees and moths that use this, and I'm going to put their names in the description of this video so that you can, if you're interested, you can copy and paste that in your favorite browser. Some of these bees burrow into the stalks to overwinter and build nests inside these stalks. So this is a very important plant. Now, it gets a bad rap because it can spread so readily, but that, to me, that's just what plants are naturally born to do. Not born, but grow to do. Their whole purpose here is to reproduce. You have to excuse me. My voice is kind of cracking today. Some of the other insects that utilize this are also solitary bees, or solitary wasps, and leafcutter bees. And like I said, I'm going to put the names of some of these bees and moths and stuff that I've discovered in the description of the video. So with that being said, this is kind of going to be a short video today. I just want to thank everybody for subscribing to my videos. A lot of positive feedback. I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe to these videos, and that helps the YouTube algorithm get these videos out. And with that, I hope you have an incredible afternoon. It's a little muggy today, but that's okay. All right, get out in your yard and plant some native plants, and have a great day. Bye.